Hey guys, so this week I decided to narrow down my topic a bit, and so I'll be focusing on the relationship between the Black church and Black advancement, more specifically, the role of the Black church in Black advancement, and that should cover Executive Order 9981, which formally desegregated the armed forces after World War II. This week's articles talked all about, again, the role of the Black church. I found three really good ones. The first one is called If It Wasn't for the Church, and essentially it takes a quantitative and psychological research approach. So there's a lot of numbers, but it also talks about the mental connection between physically attending a Black church service and the types of lessons that are taught, and then going and taking that knowledge and informally acting in the community as a community agent. And so doing things like praying for people when they're going through a hard time, or giving money, cooking meals for people that are hungry, giving rides, and a lot of the things that we see that are, again, considered community service. Those things are more likely to be done if you physically attend a church service. And although these things are social, if you know anything about the civil rights movement and the advancement of Black people, you'll know that a lot of these things are the fuel behind the political fire. They are the grassroots efforts that allow these large scale events to happen. The second article talks about the intersectionality between intellect and religion, more specifically with thinkers like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and how that ideology came to be. Within about 100 years of the Black church being founded, and all of its different factions, of course, there was this shift in thinking, specifically about religion, and it became more scholarly. And so, therefore, those thinkers were able to combine their scholarship with their Christianity and pretty much lead an entire movement over a series of decades. And that one took a history ideas approach. So it really looked at the evolution of, again, those ideologies. The third and final article that I read talks about the role of Black World War One veterans and their role in the advancement of Black people. When they came back from war, they were very disillusioned, as the article states, because they thought that because they served, they would be treated equally. And of course, we know they were actually treated worse. And so it talks about the efforts that they made for our advancement. But if you really look at it, you'll see that there's still some Christian undertones there, specifically in terms of group formation. Rather than form a violent group, they use a lot of religious principles to form action groups that were based on, again, disliking the oppression, but showing grace and kindness to the oppressor. And that's all I have for you guys this week. I'll see you next week.